So 2024 is drawing to a close, and what better way to close off the year than an end of year tarot tag. This is a hashtag at Chanel Days. Let's get into it. Hello, Angel here. Welcome to or back to my channel. I'm so sorry if you can see the cat here on my desk. My kitty cat's been up here sitting, lounging, languishing, as kitty cats do. Welcome back to this space. Lovely to have you here again. Today, as you will have heard, we are doing the end of year tarot tag, which is a hashtag at Chanel Days. I think they did this last year and the previous year. There have been some new prompts that have been updated. So let's get into it. I think there are 10 prompts. Don't quote me on that. We start with prompt number 1. Of course we are. Let's get this done. Prompt number 1, deck you used the most this year. This was a surprise for me, and it was an unexpected deck as well that came into my collection. It's the Wanderer's Tarot. This is the mass market version. These are the backs, edged in silver out of the box. Mine's a bit dinged up now because I've been using it the whole year through, obviously, hence the reason I'm showing it on this prompt. I'm going to give you a bit of a look into the guidebook in a second. This is an extra guidebook that I purchased. This deck comes with a little fold out. Very simple little pamphlet. Yeah, and I purchased this in February this year. I kind of just got a bit of I had a bit of a whim. I was like, I want that deck. It's not my aesthetic, but I want this deck. And I just like the space around the images. I like that the actual cards are black and the line work is white. That kind of just resets me every day, and this deck is used for pretty much every day. I kind of pull a card for the energy of the day as a daily pull. I've also used this deck for creativity, for creative projects, and even to ground myself and my energy when I'm feeling a bit squirrel-like. This helps me to direct my energy to where it needs to be within my practice on that given day. And I think that is the space around the images. Yeah, and so for that reason this deck has come out pretty much every single day, and as mentioned, it kind of resets me, I think, because of the artwork. It feels it allows me to land in the images and land in the moment. So yeah, for that reason this is my most used deck. Quite surprised that it is, but it is. Wait, that's too many ises. This sits on my desk. It hasn't been in this box since I actually purchased it. This is the extra guidebook. You get like a black and white image, and then you get a bit of an upright and a reversed meaning. And it's pretty much the same for the minors and the majors. Let me just show you a minor. There's a minor as well. So yeah, I do like the guidebook. I have gone to the guidebook, but I do find the images quite intuitive. And this is a very lovely, I think this is like what they call rose petal. And the guidebook wasn't expensive. And I don't think the deck was either, to be honest. It was a mass market deck, so, standard mass market prices. Let's move on to prompt number 2. So deck you didn't use at all or barely used. Well, where can I start? I should just show you the whole of my tarot shelf, that the decks are still sitting there. I'm going to say my indie decks didn't particularly get a very good look in this year. I'm going to show 2 as an example. So we've got the She-Wolf and we've got the Textured Tarot. I didn't pull these specifically for any reason. These were just the decks closest to me. I've had a bit of a reshuffle round on my tarot shelf, ready for January 2025 and for 2025 generally. I've pulled forward a lot of the decks that haven't gotten any kind of table time in my practice this year, and I really want to try and make a conscious effort to pull those decks forward. So I've actually got 2 areas I keep my tarot and oracle decks in, and what's the word? I have kind of categorized them with the decks that I haven't used in one area, and the decks that kind of got quite a bit of use in 2024 in another area. So I'm going to try and move away from those decks that I've used this year and give some more attention to the ones that haven't got had any time on my desk. That was a long explanation. I'm quite surprised I didn't use the She-Wolf this year. This one last year, and possibly the year previous to that, it was sitting in my tarot cart the whole year, and I was putting it forward, here, there and everywhere. So it got quite used quite regularly for random readings. And this year it's moved out of my tarot cart and back onto my shelf. But maybe that's maybe that's just the way it works. We have tarot for different seasons of our life, I think. And maybe that this is just taking a bit of a back seat, and other decks are helping me with their messages this year. But I really would like to get this back out next year. This is the Texture Tarot. I used this quite a bit in the beginning when I first got it. I really like the images, but it just hasn't called to me again this year. What can I say? I love this Devil card. The Devil card is my card for 2025. Quite nervous about that. Love this. So yeah, that was my answer. So my indie decks have definitely taken a bit of a knocking this year, whereby they haven't really had much time on my desk. Let's move on to prompt number 3. My most recent addition. That's got to be the Liberation Tarot. I got this for my birthday. I bought it for myself, myself and I. Purchased it for me, myself and I. These are the bags. And they've got some beautiful, I would say this is like teal blue edging. Very nice. It's still in order. I've only looked through the cards a couple of times, and I haven't even looked at the guidebook. This is, as I understand it, created by several different artists. Now, I saw this one, I feel I saw it on Kickstarter, but don't quote me on that. Then I definitely saw it on Tarot Tube, and I was like, oh, what deck is that? I really fancy that deck. And I tried to Google it, and I thought this was I kind of had that kind of thought in my mind that it was the Kickstarter deck. Googled it, found it on Amazon, which I was quite surprised about, and I thought, is it a bootleg copy? And I didn't dare buy it. Then I saw it on Mystic M's channel, and they had purchased their copy from Amazon, and theirs was like a true copy. It wasn't a bootleg copy. And I was thinking, oh, okay, that would, the Amazon deck that I saw must have been, real, what's the word, authentic. And I went back to try and order it, and it had gone, it was out of stock. So I've been kind of searching for this one for a wee while, found it for about £85, and I was like, £85? Is this not mass market? And even an indie deck that's quite a lot of money. So I was kind of oohing and ahhing, and then I've been kind of keeping my feelers out because I wanted it. And then I've recently found it on a site in the country I live in, and I think it was about £45. And I thought, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna push the buy button, and I did. So I haven't used it yet, but it's a deck that obviously I want to use in 2025. I am going to be doing a bit of a deck haul, or a haul generally, because I have just had my birthday, and I had some decks wrapped up for myself for my birthday. So, keep your eye out for that. That's coming very, very soon. These are quite pippish. I do like the cup suit the best, I think. I'm not going to show too many more cards because you probably see this, have seen this, and possibly we'll see this again in the haul video. I think this is the wand suit. Then we've got, no, sorry, this is the wand suit. This is the pentacle suit. And then we've got, let's look here, the blades for the swords. And then the court cards, let's just do this. Let me see if I can show you quickly. We've got the page, we've got the knight, we've got the queen, and we've got the king, renamed. There's a lot of renaming going on in this deck. So yeah, that's all I can tell you about it, because I've only just looked through it, and I haven't really done any more about it. I haven't looked at the guidebook because I'm a naughty girl, and December is a busy month, but there is 2025. So yeah, look out for this one in 2025. Let's move on to prompt number 5, my favourite deck pairing. Psst, did you notice the blooper? I missed prompt number 4. Why didn't you tell me? Noticed it now. Goodness me. Deck that isn't your usual style. That's got to be this one. This was a birthday present to me, myself and I, from me, myself and I. This is totally not my aesthetic. I saw this deck on, Sandra's channel. It's not called the Wishing Well anymore, is it? Spirit of Avalon, I think their channel name is. I'm going to put it on the screen if I've said that incorrectly. I saw this deck on their channel and I was like, oh my goodness me, I really like that. I really want it. I shouldn't purchase it, but I'm gonna. And I purchased it for my birthday, opened it on my birthday. And it's it feels a bit 90, this deck to me. It feels a bit 90s goth. I don't know if you were alive in the 90s and if you remember the time. Do you remember the time? Stop singing, don't sing, it's terrible. Yeah, this kind of gives me like a 90s vibe, and it feels it could feel a bit shallow, I'm gonna say. That sounds really naughty that I just said that. But I've used this deck, and this deck is far from shallow for me. I've been using this in connection with the shadow work I've been doing, in connection with my inner mausoleum work that I've been doing. This totally taps into the energy of my shadow work right now. Looky, nya, mausoleum, love it. Yeah, if you've seen in my recent videos, you'll know that this Victorian Gothic aesthetic is really speaking to me right now. So yeah, so this is definitely not my aesthetic, far from it, but it's doing the job. I've been pairing this with the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot and even the Bohemian Gothic Tarot that I'm using for #TarotAdvent right at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to give you a bit more of a flick through the cards when I do my little birthday mini haul. Keep an eye out for that. Moving on to the next prompt. Prompt number 5, favourite deck pairing. That's got to be these two. Well, actually, I had quite a few deck pairings, but I chose this one. This is the Black Violet Tarot Mass Market. Opened this year, which was I had actually wrapped for my birthday, but I got it out before my birthday. This is the Soul Mirror Oracle, edged matte gold from the box. These two have been really helping me with really supportive, gentle messages during the shadow work I've been working with. Now, I've mentioned this quite a lot recently, and I think I even mentioned about working with this pairing together. This pairing, although the decks are very gentle and supportive, they don't back off from what they need to tell me. They just do it in a very, yeah, gentle, supportive way. I like the reserved colour palette again. We've got this black, I'm really feeling obviously drawn to black and white this year. We've got the black and white, and then we've got the reserved colour palette here. And for some, I think with decks with little or no colour, it gives me a chance to, yeah, like hit the reset button. I think it kind of gives me the same vibe as the Wanderer's Tarot does. It allows me to, yeah, to definitely hit the reset button. So these two have been amazing. I tend to pull these out when I'm feeling a bit like I need a bit of downtime with the shadow work I'm doing. I still want to receive the messages. I still want to work with what I'm working with, but I want to be held and supported whilst I receive those messages, and that's what these two decks do for me. I never pulled this card. That's a really interesting card. Yeah, let's take 2 more. I love this. Love the art style in this, and love, actually I really enjoyed both decks. What am I talking about? I love both of them. So yes, I think that has got to be my favourite pairing, although I have had quite a few this year. I do like pairing my decks, not just Oracle and Tarot, but even Tarot and Tarot. Yeah, let's move on to prompt number 6. So prompt number 6, deck, mod, bag or accessory bought or made. I'm going to go with a journal that I've made. This is for Kelly Bear's #TarotAdvent project, and I decided to make a very simple, no-cost journal out of paper bags, which I saw from a super duper fantastic creator here on YouTube. I'm going to link their video in the description box. I'm going to link their channel. Get on over to the channel and show them some love. And if you've got any bags that are hanging about at home, you don't know what to do with them, make them into a journal. It's a fantastic way to have like a low cost or no cost journal. This has turned into suddenly a very chunky monkey, as you can see. I'm not going to show you all the pages, but I'm going to show you couple. This is one of the pages, one of the start of the page that I did, or at the beginning of the project. I created some envelopes out of some music paper or music books that I'd purchased from the charity shop. This is just some black paper. This was an old tea bag. This was an old skull picture that I had laying about. This is baking paper. This is a fan which I've made because the reading that I had done was quite relevant to fans and I didn't really understand why, but I wanted a reminder that fans appear to be quite important during the reading. I don't know, it made sense at the time. This is a cut out of my hand. This is another piece of another envelope I've created for more journaling. We've also got the pockets, so I've got some paper in here as well. Yeah, and then I did some more black paper, obviously gessoed the pages. Here's another envelope to be used. Some more pockets that are still to be used. So yeah, I really like it. And, you know, it was an excellent way, as mentioned, to use up the paper bags that I bought, you know, at the supermarket when I'd done my shopping. And, you know, a great way to create another journal, which didn't cost me anything. I was saying that I purchased these little angels on my birthday, just as a little treat to myself for my journal. So yeah, that is the accessory which I've made, which I'm actually really impressed with and really happy with. And I'm going to be making another paper bag journal, which I might film, but I'm going to link the description in the description box, the creator's walkthrough video of that too, or how-to video. That's a really exciting concept as well. So watch this space or go to the description box and watch their space where they show you. Let's move on to prompt number 7. Prompt number 7, favourite deck bags. This was a tough question. I think I'm going to go with this one. This is Boadicea's Tarot Earthly Delights. It was a Kickstarter. I think these are absolutely divine. They are scrumptious. They are beautiful. They are gorgeous. This is another deck that I've used a lot in 2024. I think I've used it 2.5 months out of the 12 months, which is pretty good, I think. It's not edged. And I do believe, if not my information is correct, but I do believe this deck is coming out mass market. At least I've seen it on a shop here where I live, on their website, that it's available soon for pre-order as a mass market deck, I believe. If I can find the link to that or the information, more information, I'm gonna link it for you in the description box. Absolutely love this deck. Was unsure about it when I first received it, and then I worked with it and fell in love with it. I still think this deck, which I said recently, I feel would pair nicely with the what's it called, Bohemian Gothic tarot. Yeah, I'm going to show you one more because I'm a cheaterer. This one. This is the Lioness. Oh, what's it called? It's called the Lioness Oracle Tarot. Look at these beautiful backs. Now, I say that I'm into this, like, you know, Victorian Gothic aesthetic, but here you see me, you know, the colour wins out. It still wins out. So yeah, this was a second-hand deck I found. Yeah, and I've been looking for this one for quite a while. Couldn't find it new. I felt it kind of was unavailable in the country that I live in. And then I saw it on like a buy-sell trade tarot group here in the country I live in. And I was like, oh, I want to get me some of that. And here we are. So I haven't used it yet, but it's on my list for 2025. Don't panic. And it's actually sitting, I love this, sitting in my tarot cart. So I haven't completed Dawn Michelle's Fellowship of the Weavers practice as yet. It could turn up for that. I don't know. Never say never. So yeah, love both of them. These are gorgeous. Let's take a look at prompt number 8, which is Deck with a Great Theme. Deck with a Great Theme. That was a tough one. I have watched Chanel Daisy's video, and I've also watched Mand from Mystic Mand's VR to this as well, and I don't remember what they chose for this, and it took me a couple of minutes to think about what to choose. That was a long intro. I've chosen these two, the Weird Sisters and the Talisman Oracles. Both are mass market decks. I've chosen them both for the same reason, for the same theme, which is sigil work, and I've pulled forward my slate plate which I purchased for about £3 new, actually, a couple of weeks ago, and it's for spell work, for sigil work. These are the cards which I'm going to show you now. These are the talisman. This is the Talisman Oracle. It was edged in black out of the box, and these are the Weird Sisters Oracle cards. This is by the same creator as the Wanderer's Tarot. I've been using this for spell work, and I've been using more this for divination, I would say, although there are sigils within the artwork which can be used. This I've been using for my shadow mausoleum work. This I use more around Samhain for some spell work I was working with. Let's flip some cards, and I'm going to say that I don't know what the intention was for this deck, because I haven't read the guidebook from cover to cover, because for me, I've mentioned before that these sigils or this artwork feels like symbols when I'm walking, or when I'm within my inner mausoleum. I feel they're almost like symbols or gargoyles, I think, you know, giving me messages. That sounds really woo-woo, really bizarre, but that's how I feel about this deck. And so that's, although they're both sigil work, I have used them very, very differently. I'm going to say also with the Talisman Oracle, you get this little envelope which comes with like vellum, so you can trace the sigils which are in the guidebook. Let me grab the guidebook for you, so you can see the sigil. Let me see if I can see the sigil here. You can see the sigils here in any case. So the sigils are like hidden in the artwork, and this is what you can trace. Well, I've been doing that freehand on my slate plate. So yes, let's take two more. Enjoy both decks for different reasons, actually. Last one. Yeah, let's move along. Prompt number 9, deck you are in love with. And I'm adding right now, because this kind of ebbs and flows and it changes, the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. Loving this deck right at the minute. This is a deck that I'm using for Kelly Bear's hashtag Tarot Advent project. Loving it. It was a second-hand deck that I found on a buy, sell, trade group in the country that I live in. It hadn't been particularly on my radar, but I'm feeling very drawn to the Gothic aesthetic right now, and since maybe like September, October. And I was looking at this deck and I was thinking, I don't really need this deck. I do have other Gothic decks that I've recently purchased and bought into my collection. And I was like, no, Angel, you don't need this. And I kind of clicked away from the page, and then I was like thinking about it for a couple of days. And I was like, but I really, really want it. And it reminded me of a story of my mum. My mum and I were at a thrift shop one time, and I found this really beautiful painting that I liked, but I didn't need it. And money was not very, I didn't have very much money at the time, so I didn't really need to purchase it. And my mum said to me, if you put that painting down and don't purchase it, will you be upset if somebody else picks it up and buys it? And I was like, well, actually, yeah, I will be. And she was like, well, then you should buy it. And I was like, and it wasn't very much money. It was in a second-hand shop, so it was only a couple of pounds. Now, and I've kind of lived by that thought process now, that if I see something second-hand and I can't stop thinking about it, and I'd be upset if someone else bought it, then I tend to purchase it because I'm naughty. And that was what this deck was for me. I went away, tried to talk myself out of it, but this deck kind of it was kind of speaking to me. It was like, yoo-hoo, you know, the Bohemian Gothic Tarot is available to purchase in your country at a great price. Yoo-hoo! Are you sure you don't want it? Yoo-hoo! And I went back onto the page, and luckily, nobody else had purchased it, which I think is probably because it was like, you know, we'd get in close to Christmas and, you know, money for presents and all that. So I was a lucky bunny, and when I got the deck through, it was in a fantastic condition. I would be hesitant to say it's even been used, to be honest. And it's been totally rocking my world. I'm loving it. And I've really enjoyed working with this project to get to know the deck. So I'm kind of thinking about doing something very similar for other decks in my collection for 2025. But I'm going to get more into that in my intentions video, which is coming soon. My intentions for 2025. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It will be out very, very soon. Yeah. So that was my answer. Shall I move on? I think I should. Prep number 10, deck you wish existed or out of print deck you want, your unicorn deck. That's dead easy. I want the Bubba Studios Alice deck. I so want that deck. But I know when I get the chance to buy it, I'm going to be like, I don't know if I really want it. I don't know. It was the same when I had got the chance to get my hands on, what's that beautiful deck that I really like? Can't think, put it on the screen. And, you know, it's there. I can buy it. But no, stubborn me is like, no, you're not buying that deck. So, but I do want it. I really want the Bubba Studios Alice deck. I really want it. I really want it. I want to get it in my hands. I want to love it and hold it and squeeze it and use it. Prop number 11. Which card sums up your year as a whole? Now, I pulled 2 cards before I started this video from the Wanderer's Tarot. That was this one, if you don't remember. Asked that question, pulled 2 cards. That was the Ace of Feathers and the Death card. Now, the feathers suit in the Wanderer's Tarot is the Wands. Again, I read this quite intuitively. So for me, obviously the Ace always speaks of like new beginnings, new starts, this spark, this initial spark, this maybe initiation. This also spoke to me of I work best under pressure. If I've got a deadline, I might have a 6-week deadline, for instance, and I won't do anything until the last week. And that last week, I will do my best work. But if I'd started 5 weeks previous to that, it would just be mediocre. But because I'm under that pressure, I do perform best actually under pressure. And that's what this kind of makes me think of, this, you know, this warmth or this heat, making the egg hatch before maybe it's possibly ready to, because obviously, you know, the heat is... what's the word? Whatever that word is. I don't do egg technology, or yeah. Feels like that added heat, that added pressure to, you know, to hatch. And that's kind of what this year has actually felt like. You know, I've kind of been, you know, sitting on my laurels a bit, especially with this shadow work, which speaks to me of almost like this. It kind of comes back actually to the inner mausoleum work and the shadow work that I've been working with. This trying to clear out what is no longer serving me, which should have been done a long time ago, but now that the pressure's on, I feel like the pressure's on to get it done. And as mentioned, I do my best work under pressure, or with short time frames, or with you know. With pressure. And so this kind of also speaks to that, trying to clear the old away to make room for the new. So prompt number 12, tarot practice reflections. I'm pretty happy with my my practice this year. I've taken, I think, quite a few steps in the right direction on my healing journey. So I'm very happy with the direction that my practice has gone in this year. What I'm not overly happy with this year was my low buy. Yeah, don't even want to talk about it. But I was that was a big fat loss. Yeah, but you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Better luck next time. That's all I'm going to say about my low buy year. I'm not even going to tell you how many decks I purchased this year, because that would just be nincompoopery. Let's move on to prompt number 13. Prompt number 13 is pull a card for the new year or a deck you want to use for the new year. I'm going to do both if I may be so bold. Okay, I'm going to be even bolder and show you a pairing that I want to work with in the new year. So this is the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. This was a pre-loved secondhand deck that I found on my favourite online secondhand shop. And this is a French mass market deck. I've had the Oracle for quite a while. It comes in like a little bag here. I've had this quite a while, and I've paired it with one of my favourite decks, which is I want to say it's called the Soul Journey Tarot. These are the backs. Not a big fan of the backs with the name on it, but I do like that it's got this like bling bling bling, blingy bling bling. It's edged in gold from the box. or gilded in gold. So these are the fronts, obviously. No, really? Angel, you don't say. And this is the Cosmic Cycles Tarot. These are the backs. They were edged in purple, though I don't know if they do come edged in purple, if the previous owner did that themselves. I have gone through my decks recently in preparation for 2025 and separated my decks into decks that I've used this year and decks that I totally have not. And I've categorised them. All the decks I haven't used are in one section and all the decks I have used are in the other. And I'm going to try and move away from those decks, excuse me, and move to the decks I haven't used. And this was a pairing that I thought might work well. I don't know. I haven't used them together. Haven't touched this one at all because I've been so focused on this dark aesthetic. But I just wonder if they'll, read really nicely off of each other. I kind of get the feeling that the artwork will work nicely. They're both quite modern, contemporary decks. I can't remember what this one is called offhand in English, translated. I feel it's something like the Soul Contracts Oracle or something like that. I'll put the name on the screen. I don't go to the guidebook for this one at all. I read it really intuitively, and it reads really well for me. Although it does have, in the guidebook, it is very focused on this soul contracts, partnership thing going on. That was a really bad explanation, but I personally don't use it for that because I don't do lovey-dovey. I don't do lovey-dovey stuff. Love this. Love this. This I thought this was a devil card actually, first of all, but it's not. Love this death card. I mean, yes. So this is definitely a pairing that I want to use. I think I'm going to use this for January. Don't quote me on that. But I'm going to say, usually I feel drawn to purples, lilacs in January, in the winter season. And I just feel that these two are really, are going to float my boat in January, among others, which I'm not going to go into. I'll wait until, January decks intentions for that. Last one. I don't know. I think they're going to work, but only time will tell. I shall let you know. Watch this space. And finally, the card that I'm going to be working with in 2025. Well, my card of the year for 2025 is the Devil card, and I'm not even joking. I'm not even being ironic. I'm so looking forward to diving into this card and working with it for the whole of 2025. I do feel like my journey with the Devil card already started at the end of this year. I'm going to say that this card was kind of what sparked it for me, and what sparked this artwork that I created. So I feel like the Devil was already like turning up for me, and it kind of sparked this inner horned dark facet of self that I'm now working with, which kind of sparked the whole inner mausoleum work as well. Actually, this is from the Crow Tarot. This one is from the Dark Angels Tarot. This is from the Black, I want to say Velvet, but that's a song, the Black Violet Tarot, and this is from the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. So looking forward to working with this. I'm going to set up like a little shrine and have like the Devil card, and maybe like, oh, actually I'm going to show you this as well. Sorry, this is a little secondhand figure that I purchased very, very recently. It's one of my latest secondhand buys. This is to represent that inner dark horned facet of self, and I think this is also going to sit on the on my altar for the Devil and the year 2025. Quite excited, although I'm actually very, very nervous, to be quite frank. And then of course the year after that is the Tower year, but we're not going to talk about that. We'll take that next year. So yeah, that's it. I think that's all the prompts answered. What say you? Let me know. What's your card for 2025? Do you pick randomly? How do you choose your card for the year? I would also really like to know. Let me give you another question. I don't know. Well, let me know how you think your practice has gone this year. Do you think it's gone really well? Do you think you could definitely improve it next year? Let me know in the comment section, because I'd like to know. I'm nosy. And let me know also what deck you're planning to use for 2025. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking. Have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Take care, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Toodles!